What is up, Canes fans? Peter Ariz here, bringing you another edition of the CanesInSight podcast. And we are keeping things rolling today with the 2025 prospect interviews. This is a big one. Cortez Mills, one of the top wide receivers in the country out of Homestead, Florida, without a doubt, one of the top players at that position on Miami's recruiting board. Obviously, a huge position of need, not only right now for this team, but moving forward as they look to get more dynamic and explosive down the field in the passing game. Had a really, really good conversation with Cortez. Excited for you to hear that interview in just a moment. Brad Tejeda, shout out to him once again for getting these things lined up. But first, wanted to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you, of course, by Closure Investigative Agency. Is your ex-partner failing to pay child support? You deserve better. Let Closure Investigative Agency help you. Let's go get your money. Background checks, cheating spouses, corporate investigations, insurance investigations, legal investigations, employee theft investigations, domestic services, missing persons, surveillance services, and more. Closure Investigative Agency. Contact them at 561-437-6080 or info@ciagency.net. 5-star Google rated, and the entire state of Florida is covered. Go check them out at ciagency.net. And without much further ado, joining myself and Brad Tejeda now on the CanesInSight podcast, Cortez Mills, wide receiver out of Homestead. Excited to be joined now on the CanesInSight podcast by a very special guest, one of the top prospects in the country, regardless of position. I don't care what these rankings say right now, these stars, anything like that. Cortez Mills from Homestead, Florida, the bottom, exit 1, South Florida boy, joins the show today. Cortez Mills, one of the top receivers in the country, like I said. Appreciate you joining the show today, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Yeah, man. I know it's an exciting time for you. With you got all these schools coming after you, and your name's been on the map for a bit now. But things are starting to get real, right? I mean, what's it been like this spring? I know you had Kirby Smart. I've had a bunch of coaches come down there to the school. Now that finally, like, it's not senior year yet, but you're there. You're the spring of your junior year. Describe to me your emotions and kind of everything you're going through at this point.
Right now, I'm just working, and I'm just blessed to be in the spot I'm in right now with all the coaches coming in to the school and showing me how much of an impact I could be to the school. So right now, I'm just really blessed, and I'm just working hard, and I'm just trying to get back to state with my team.
You talked about, your success on the field, put up some really good numbers. We'll pull up your huddle here in a bit and kind of talk about your style on the field as a receiver and whatnot. But talk to me about what your schedule looks like this spring. And I know summer is still a little bit away, but I know you got 7-on-7 football, spring football, and then obviously any visits and things like that. So just walk the fans through kind of what your calendar looks like the next couple months.
Right now, I'm just planning on when I'm going to take my visits and what schools I'm going to, go to. And I'm just, putting in work in the weight room at my school, and I'm running track too also. So my schedule pretty busy, but I make sure I stay on track of that. So all the schools that I got in mind and that been, shooting contact, I got them planned out on the visit.
Cortez, Pete talked a little earlier at the beginning of the interview, man, about how you just finished your junior year, going into your senior season, and pretty much every school in the nation has been calling you, visiting you. You pretty much have any choice you could have already going into your senior year, right? From a mentality standpoint, where's your mindset at right now? Knowing that you kind of have your options open, you still have a full another season ahead of you. Where is it just from a mentality standpoint where you are and how you carry yourself on and off the football field?
I mean, my mentality just keep going. I don't let none of that stuff distract me. I just stay on track and just keep doing what I'm doing. That's it.
And we touched a little bit in other interviews with some of the other recruits that we interviewed as well, talking about the 7-on-7 camp and just the general idea of it. How has Team Raw, Team 7, the 7-on-7 team you're on, Coach Duasso, Coach Sed Irvin, some of the guys that we know out there, how is that 7-on-7 team raw helped you individually with your game, and also just the camaraderie and the relationships that you've been able to build with other guys, whether it's local kids that you're playing with on a weekly basis or guys out of the state?
I mean, Raw is like a great program. You know, we got a whole bunch of dogs on the team, so every day in practice, like when we do practice, we gotta compete against each other with like the top athletes in the country. So it's like we just be competing, and they just teach us a lot of stuff. You know, we got great coaches like Coach Shu, great with receiver coach, and this great program, and they just help us develop over there.
Yeah, that's Tommy Schuler for the fans who are listening. Former Miami Central great, former Marshall great as well. Played with Rakeem Cato. Those two had a great connection up there at Marshall. And listen, people talk about the 7-on-7 circuit. I think it gets a bad rap. I think for someone like you playing a skill position, it's great to be able to compete. You see, like Brad said, you're going to these national tournaments and you get to face some of these guys head to head that you're going to be seeing in a year or two at the next level that you may not have the chance to see week in, week out in South Florida. Just talk about some of the guys that you've had a chance to face. I mean, look, I know as a receiver, you're going to think that you can take it to anybody out there at defensive back, but who are some of the guys that you've kind of been impressed with at defensive back that you've had a chance to match up with the last year or so on that circuit?
I can't name like off the top like who I had went against, because I went against so many good DBs. So like I can't even like I don't got no names on the top of my head right now.
Spoken like a true receiver, man. You don't even see, you can't identify the man across from you.
No, sir.
That's listen, that's what these top programs are looking for as a receiver with that sort of confidence, obviously. Now let's get into your recruitment a little bit, right? Because that's what a lot of people are interested about. And before we get into like specific schools and stuff like that, when you and your family kind of look at the schools that are recruiting you and everything that they're trying to sell you on, right? What are really the main things that you're looking at when you assess and evaluate these schools?
I mean, we got to have a great bond. Not the coach just can't have no bond with me. He got to also have a bond with my mom. It got to be a great atmosphere, environment, and I'm just trying to go to a school that's gonna help develop me and also have a like great education, because that's like rule number one.
Now, Cortez, as you know, man, you being a local young man playing the wide receiver position down in South Florida, as you know, this is a factory for talent when it comes to South Florida guys. You know, Amari Cooper, Jeremiah Smith that just came out. You got Josiah Trader that just came out and committed to Miami as well. There's always been that 1 to 3, 4 guys that just come out every year and are going to be that guy. You seem to already be one of the few guys locally in South Florida in 2025 that have emerged as that guy. What I want to ask you is, what sets Cortez Mills apart from the rest, whether it's on the field, off the field, just a mentality or just how you play?
I mean, on and off the field, like on the field, I'm a dog, and my confidence to the sky. So like, I don't see nobody, and just off the field, I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna be me at all times. It don't matter who I'm around. I'm gonna still be the same person.
And as we're pulling up some of your huddle film, man, the playmaking ability, the way you're able to grab the ball in the air, you got a lot of Justin Jefferson in you, a lot of Odell Beckham, a few other guys. Who are some of the guys that you watch that play on either Saturday or Sundays that you kind of try to help get some of the skill sets that you have to your game?
I mean, coaches. Every time when coaches come to the school, they always compare me to Devontae Smith. So I really just been studying his game if they comparing me to him. So I just really been watching Devontae Smith lately.
Okay. Hey, Devontae Smith is a kid out of Louisiana that Miami was very close from landing a few years ago. And as you know, anyone that's listening or watching, Devontae Smith went on to Alabama, did his thing, and is doing his thing in the NFL. You know, going back to your recruitment, Cortez, what are some key things that Coach Kevin Beard, Coach Mario, and the rest of the staff have really done for you and your family that really show a lot of interest on why maybe staying home may be the best spot for you?
I mean, every week they got a chance to come down and see me. They came down, and every time they came down, they had positive energy. And every time when they was around my mom, she just loved the way they talked, and she just loved the vibe. So I mean, that played a big part of it too when they came down, and how like they just came down and they was just had everything set, and that got my mom attention.
Cortez, what's it like for you coming down to Coral Gables, right? And obviously Homestead is down south, right? Coral Gables, not too far away, but it's not what everyone thinks about when they think about Miami, when they think about South Beach, right? And the big, downtown buildings and all that. It's a little bit different in Coral Gables. So just talk about when you do have a chance to get down to campus, what that is like. That it's kind of a home away from home, right? That you're still close enough to your family, but not right there as well.
I mean, every time when I step on campus, I mean, like how you said, it's right there. It's like a 30 minutes away, so it's home away from home. And every time I step on campus, they always show me love, and it's just always a great environment, and the atmosphere always outstanding.
I got a question, kind of has nothing to do with recruiting right now, Cortez. Talk to me about, with being as respectful as you can, talk to me about the state of down south football right now. Obviously, you're at Homestead. You guys have had great success the last few years. Killian, Southridge, South Dade. I know that's the big rivalry game, right? So talk about down south football right now. I know up north always gets the love nationally, but there's so much great talent down south. And I feel like everyone's doing their best to try to make sure that all four of those schools and all four of those programs are, doing what they can to be as best as they can right now.
I mean, all the programs down south is great programs, and every school down south got dogs on the team. And I just feel like we just kind of too far at the bottom, so people don't really realize that. But down south got the talent. Like, that's where it's at. That's where the dogs at.
Cortez, you've had guys like Kirby Smart, Dabo Sweeney, and obviously Mario Cristobal come and visit you personally. What are one or two tidbits that you kind of remember from each head coach, or something that you kind of came across from them coming to see you? One thing that stood out from each one of them.
I mean, when Cristobal came down there, he was just letting me and my mom know, like, if I come to UM, like, I'm in good hands, and he gonna take care of me, and he gonna help me develop to get to the next level, and that's what I'm looking for.
And Cortez, we were able to interview a few other guys at some high key positions, at the top of Miami's board, like yourself. And it was interesting. One of the things that one of the recruits said about Mario Cristobal, I'm kind of interested to see if he did this to you as well. But a lot of coaches, that come and visit you and talk to you, they kind of ask you what they need to do in order to land Cortez Mills. What do we got to do to get Cortez to come to our university? Well, Mario, he doesn't just ask you, what do we need to do? He kind of gives you a plan of what we're going to do to get you to University of Miami. Is that something that he did with you as well?
I mean, he told me he gonna get me there, and he told me by the way he gonna get me there is he just gonna keep trying and just keep recruiting me as hard as he can, and just keep making sure I'm straight and my mom's straight and my family's straight and stuff like that.
And now I don't want you to have to like throw any names or colleges out there, because obviously there's a ton of colleges and schools going after you. But has there been, a few schools or coaches out there where you've been able to feel from your sense that, they're not very consistent, or they're just not being upfront honest with you, like someone like Coach Cristobal? Is that something that you're able to feel and kind of test out, knowing who these guys are?
I mean, all the coaches show love, so I ain't gonna say, like, every coach that came through the building to look at, like, to sit down and talk to me, like, they all was saying positive things, and they ain't feel no bad energy, so I can't really say.
Nothing wrong with that, bro.
Yes, sir.
A couple more things here, Cortez, before we let you go. When you talk about Miami, you talk about Coach Cristobal, what does it mean to you that he's from this area, that he's from Miami? And a lot of people on the staff are as well. You talk about relationships. Coach Kevin Beard, right, a guy who played at Miami, who's from South Florida. Just talk about the fact that they are from this area and kind of how that kind of plays into the relationship that you're building with them.
I mean, they from this area, and I'm from this area, so we got a lot of things in common, and we can relate to a lot of things because we from the same area. So, I mean, that's going to play a big part of it, too, because we both from down south and both from Miami.
And in terms of looking at the offenses, right? I mean, how much do you look at who the quarterback is in today's college football changes from year to year, right? Obviously, Cam Ward is at Miami this year, but he will not be at Miami when you come in. But are you looking at, the style of the offense, the stats of the receivers in the offense, when you really try to break down what these offenses look like that you could potentially be fitting into? What are the main keys that you look at?
I always look to see who the quarterback gonna be for my year, and I mean, if a school gonna throw the ball, they gonna throw the ball. If they like throwing the ball, they gonna throw the ball. So I really look into who gonna throw the ball to, and who just gonna have a great quarterback for my year for them to throw me the ball.
Then the last thing that I have for you, Cortez, is just what your timeline looks like now. Obviously, you mentioned you're going to start to figure out where you're going to visit and all that. Do you think that you'll have your decision by, before your senior season? Do you think that you'll be like a signing day guy? Any idea on that?
Maybe before the season. I won't wait too late till when I'm signing. I'll probably commit like right before the season. Probably like the first 3 games or something like that. I don't want to wait too late.
Got it.
Good
Brad,
stuff,
you got
man.
anything?
Yeah, just a few more things for you, Cortez, before we get you out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
This past junior season, you totaled for just under 1,700 yards, 18 touchdowns, which is a phenomenal junior year. I know you have a lot of focus as a team to get Homestead back to where they need to be this senior year. But just as far as personal goals, what are some personal goals that you have for you personally going into your senior year that you would like to accomplish?
I mean, I'm going into my senior year, so I love to accomplish the win, like carry my teams to a state title. And I had an amazing year my junior year, and my senior year I got to go out with a bang. So I'm planning on topping that. I'm planning on going for 2,000.
And Cortez, obviously, man, you're going to be going to one of the top programs in the country, regardless who you end up choosing. And you being a wide receiver, most of those top programs, you're going to be going into a somewhat crowded room for most of those colleges, right? For people that are listening, what is it for you to not be afraid of competition and to just know from a Cortez Mills mindset that you could go into any wide receiver room as a true freshman and be who you are and get to the top?
I mean, just like I said before, my confidence to the sky. So anywhere I go, I feel like I'ma just compete and I'ma just work for my spot and I'ma just get up to the top if I have to. That's it.
Last 2 things for you, bro. We talk about the word dog, right? And you mentioned it earlier in the interview, especially being from South Florida. The word dog carries a lot of weight, and in some aspects, it means something different for everyone. What does the word dog mean to you personally?
I mean, even when I'm not getting the ball, I'm still gonna try to dog you and block you to the flow. When the ball getting thrown to me, like 100% chance that I'm gonna catch the ball, and 100% chance that I'm gonna make plays for sure throughout the whole game. That's what a dog mean to me.
Hey, man, I love the definition, man, and I could 100% tell you that every Cane fan that's listening or tuned in to this, man, they want you to be a Miami Hurricane. So last but not least, man, you got any last words for the Hurricane fan base that's tuned in?
Go Canes. That's
Yes,
all.
sir.
Cortez Mills, man, Homestead Zone. Look forward to seeing you develop this senior season, and best of luck throughout the 7-on-7 circuit. Good health there, and enjoy this recruiting process, Cortez. Appreciate the
Yes,
time
sir.
tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank
Appreciate you,
y'all.
bro. Yes, sir,
Yeah,
man.
no